What's going on, guys? RBG here, bringing you another update on some Transformers movies. And I say the word some because apparently we have another TF film coming down the pipeline in the near future. And it feels so weird saying that because we already know that there are multiple projects in the works under the supervision of Paramount and E1, which is a subsidiary studio under Hasbro. But it seems like for the longest time we weren't able to pinpoint exactly which film was coming out first or what it would be about. Last January, the studio made the decision to give the entire franchise a revamp by having two simultaneous scripts in the works under the active development of James Vanderbilt and one by Joby Harold. Ultimately, it was Harold's film that eventually was chosen as the next installment in the franchise, and after meeting with several directors this past fall, Stephen Caple Jr. was tapped to lead this new series, and his film would be the first to be released. It's recently been reported that this movie is currently on the verge of being filmed in July in Montreal, Canada, with the latter half being filmed in Peru. And apparently the budget is going to be a whopping $200 million, which means we're returning to the highly detailed and stylized designs the Bay films were known for, as opposed to the $100 million that was very noticeable with Bumblebee. Which I'm not trying to take anything away from the CG of that film. I think Travis Knight did an excellent job of what he was given, but the overall quality between his Transformers and the Bayformers are night and day. The Bayformers are way bigger, which means they have a higher polygon count, and there's a lot of detail on them that is still impressive given how old they are. Like, I'm not sure if any of you guys know this, but the first Transformers film was one of the driving forces behind Marvel Studios being confident that an Iron Man film could work. Michael Bay and the talented people over at Industrial Light and Magic, aka ILM, proved that metallic CG characters can translate well in a realistic setting if done right.
They had approached me about it, and there was not really a script or anything, and they were working on a script. They had some story ideas, and I kind of didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I thought it was a cool concept. At the time, like, Transformers was being made, so I was real confident that hard surfaces would look good in CG. I tended to not really always buy CG at the time.
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
And lo and behold, ILM is Marvel Studios' go-to company when it comes to making these movies. It's also important to note that before they were acquired by Disney, the first wave of MCU films minus The Incredible Hulk were distributed by the same company that distributes TF films. So once again, we gotta give the Bayformers their credit for at least being style incarnate and changing the overall landscape of CGI in movies. But getting back on topic to this upcoming Transformers film, apparently we now have a confirmation of one of the actors who will be the lead human protagonist. According to Deadline, American singer, songwriter, and actor Anthony Ramos is being eyed to star in the next Transformers film installment for Paramount. The article states, and I quote, "Following news that the studio was already in development on a separate Transformers movie from Charm City Kings Angel Manuel Soto, its other film looks to have found its lead. Sources tell Deadline that Anthony Ramos is in final negotiations to star in a Transformers movie for Paramount, E1, and Hasbro that has Stephen Caple Jr. directing. Last week, it was announced that the studio was also developing an untitled pick from Soto that would be completely different from this pick, and it has always been the plan to have multiple projects in pre-production at the same time. They are also developing an animated pick from Toy Story 4 director Josh Cooley. So as you hear, we're going to have a lead actor of Puerto Rican descent in this next film. And if you guys remember in one of my most recent videos, I mentioned that it was being reported that Paramount was looking to cast an African American or a Latino actor in the lead role, with the character said to be in his early to mid 20s. And it was said that the film would have the flavor of a heist film that will span from Brooklyn to South America. Above all else, they were looking for an actor who could pass as a native New Yorker. So this is either a confirmation that those rumors were true, since Anthony Ramos is a Latino actor who just so happens to be from New York, or it's just a big coincidence that this report lines up perfectly with those rumors. You might recall that I was very skeptical of that particular article because it came from a site that doesn't necessarily have a consistent track record when it comes to truthful reports. But after this report from Deadline, it's starting to line up with it. And if we do get an actual confirmation regarding the other things, such as the film taking place in areas like South America, then the rumors of the film being titled Beast Alliance just may be true. Even though the studio is being very tight-lipped about the movie, it's good that we're starting to put all of these pieces together on which film is which. Paramount seems to be adamant about releasing a TF film on a yearly to bi-yearly basis, and it feels like they're finally picking up from where they left off with Bumblebee. I'm just hoping that they don't overextend themselves like they did with the past two projects, because it's obvious they were expecting the reception to be a lot bigger for The Last Knight and Bumblebee, but they simply did not get that. I'm pretty sure that they're more focused on picking when they want to spend a hefty amount of money for the budget in marketing for these pictures, and they just want to be sure that these pictures are gonna make a profit. So occasionally they may pull back on the budget for a cheaper film, and this leads me to another TF project that was mentioned in the Deadline post. Apparently there's a completely separate Transformers movie in the works that's Untitled, and it's going to be directed by Angel Manuel Soto from Charm City Kings, and based on a script being put together by Marco Ramirez, who co-created the Netflix Marvel superhero crossover The Defenders and served as co-writer on 6 episodes of Daredevil prior to that. According to TFW 2005, the director stated that the premise of his new Transformers movie will take place outside of the United States. The story does not involve the military. It also has been stated that the plot is to be completely outside of the Bayverse. Additionally, the director described the inception of the movie in question. He got the call from Paramount after the 2020 Sundance Film Festival, where he showcased Charm City Kings. The Los Angeles production company expressed their interest in making a new and different Transformers project with him, and Angel Manuel Soto personally pitched the idea to Paramount and Hasbro. The two companies liked the idea and gave a green light. So if you're one of those fans who just want more TF films without the base shenanigans, then there's hope for you, because this film has officially been greenlit and will indeed be a breath of fresh air for those who want something different out of their Transformers movies. TFW 2005 continued on, saying that the director is planning to humanize the Transformers characters on this movie, personality-wise but not design-wise. He wants the robots to speak like us in a natural way. That's the way he remembers Transformers and the reason why we felt identified with the original Transformers. He believes that when you humanize the characters, you get closer to them and love them. When there's a human approach, you create a connection with them. If not, they're just lifeless robots. While he can't speak much details, he says that the budget is over $50 million and it's a challenge to manage it. So as you hear, this film is going to have a moderately tight budget compared to the Bay films and Bumblebee, which was and still is the cheapest live-action TF film ever made. I'm a little worried that the budget is that small because it could essentially mean two things. The movie won't feature as many scenes featuring the Transformers as we might want, and if it does so happen to feature a lot of scenes with the Cybertronians, the CGI won't look as good as it has in previous films. But there are a lot of variables that factor into where the money is going to be put towards besides the CGI, and we've seen normal people like us make some pretty impressive CG projects on YouTube without spending a hefty amount of money. So hopefully this new director just so happens to be one of those passionate fans who takes full advantage of the $50+ million the studio is giving him on this particular project. Regardless, I'm just happy that there seems to be a roadmap set in place on where Paramount wants the Transformers franchise to be in the future. They've got scripts in place for each project along with some excellent choices for directors. I also forgot to mention that the upcoming TF film will apparently center around Optimus Prime and Anthony Ramos. Collider has reported that Ramos is in negotiation to play a flawed and vulnerable hero who has made mistakes in his life and is eager to redeem himself with the help of Optimus Prime, which I am totally down for, man. It's obvious that the red and blue big bot spotlight has been forcefully shifted to Bumblebee over the years, and this film could possibly take things back to the basics. The whole Bee losing his voice box has gotten played to death, and we really need to get more time with Optimus Prime because he's one of the most interesting characters in the TF mythos that the movies have barely scratched the surface on. Like, this guy is one of the main players that kicked off the Great Cybertronian War, and we desperately need to see that play out on the big screen. We want to see him rise from this humble librarian to a fierce warrior fighting for the fate of the Cybertronians. Hopefully one of these future projects will finally bring that awesome story to life. But with that said, I'm going to turn it over to you guys. What do you think about all the news we've gotten so far? Are you excited about it? Or are you just waiting to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, which is Paramount? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, I ask you like or dislike this video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up, it can be a thumbs down. Any feedback is good feedback and will only help me improve on my channel. But if you really enjoyed the video, it would help me out tremendously if you shared it with all your friends and followers on social media outlets. Sharing really makes a difference. But once again, this is your boy RBG signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. As a successful YouTube user, I often get questions asking what I use to get my videos tons of views. And the answer to that is TubeBuddy. This thing has helped me take my channel to the next level in ways I never imagined. It's a browser extension that helps new and experienced YouTubers grow fast and optimize their channels. I've been using this extension for years and it's constantly getting updated with new features, like the SEO tool that helps me come up with the perfect title, description, and tags to get more people to click on my videos. It even provides you with analytics beside your videos to see how much traffic your video is generating from various social media sites. The extension is absolutely free, but as a special offer, we're giving a 50% discount for channels that have less than 1,000 subscribers that purchase the Pro upgrade. All you have to do is enter in the code RisingStarBuddy. So if you're interested in starting a YouTube channel or taking your content to the next level, download the extension now. You can do so by clicking on this link that'll be provided in the description of this video.